If you've clicked on this video, you are looking for help with Canva. I'm Rachel from Naturally Social. I love all things Canva and I'm here to show you how to get more out of the platform. Today's video, we're going to be looking at how to build a brand kit. Okay, let's jump straight in. So we've logged into our Canva account here. We're using the pro version, but you can also set up a brand kit within the free version if that's the one that you have. It's worth noting that if you are on the free version of Canva, you can only upload one brand kit, whereas on the pro version, you can upload a few. So when you first log into Canva, you're going to be greeted with your home page. This is going to show all the designs you've currently been working on or been working on recently. You can search those designs, you can search templates, and you can also use Canva's AI features as well. So for today's video, we're looking at creating a brand kit, which is going to save you a lot of time, especially if you create a lot of visuals or documents within Canva. So on the left-hand side, we can see the button that says brand. We're going to click on there. And then we're going to click on the drop down box here, which currently says Naturally Social, which is the brand kit for the business. We're then going to click on create a new brand kit. As you can see, the crown is grayed out, which means that it's included within the pro version. If it's not available within your plan, if that is going to show up as yellow or a gold color. So click on create new brand. We're going to be calling this the Daily Grind Coffee. And then we're going to click on the purple create button, and that's going to take us through. So initially, if you've got a website, you'll be able to input your website here, and then utilizing AI tools, Canva is going to then be able to draw down a lot of the information for you. But if you're a smaller organization, a freelancer, or someone that doesn't have a website yet, or perhaps one that's been overly branded, maybe you don't have a complete and thorough set of brand guidelines, then you can still work through the brand kit via steps. And that's what we're going to be doing today. So the first thing we're going to be doing is looking to upload our logos. So by clicking on here, it's going to take us in, and which means that you can add your brand assets. Now you can do that by simply clicking on the purple button here, or like I'm going to do today, I'm just going to drag and drop the logos over. So I've got a couple of logos that we've created for this example. And as you can see, the bar here just tells you that they're being uploaded. And then when that bar disappears, they're there, which means we can move on to the next step. And the next step is colors. So the first thing that we're going to spot here is that Canva has used recognition based on the logos that we've uploaded to determine the colors that we're going to want for the brand. So these three colors here are based off the black logo that we uploaded, and these from the brown logo that we've uploaded. What you should then do is make sure that you are matching these to the hex codes in your brand guidelines to make sure they're exact. Now we do have black in this brand guidelines, but it is not the same hex code as here. And while it may seem really minor, there are a lot of people out there who know their brand like the back of their hand. So it is very important that you update the specific hex codes for each brand, especially if you're working with clients. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're just going to remove these because they are not correct. And we are then going to add new. Now you can type this in manually just from copying what's on your brand guidelines. Alternatively, you can just copy and paste the numbers over, which is what we're going to do. And then we're going to hit return. And as you can see there, that's been added to the color kit. We're then going to work through. We're going to add in our next set of colors. Again, we're just working by copying and pasting those from our brand document across into Canva. And a couple more to go. So we've got black. If you remember what the hex code looked like for black, I think it was 10010. It's not the same. We're just all zeros for the black for this brand. And we also have white, which is just all of the Fs. If you have a number of colours that you're adding into the brand and you're not sure where you're at and maybe you've lost track, you've been distracted, we can show you what will pop up. So we're going to pop in a hex code that we've already used, and you can see there is flagged up to say that that's already in the palette, which is good to know. If you don't spot that notice that's popped up and you hit return, it's just going to put a random colour in. So you just need to make sure that you either delete that colour or that you're looking out for those those specific notices. So next we're going to work on to fonts. Now again, if you're a small business, freelancer or solopreneur and you haven't set out what font types you like to use for your brand, this is a good time to do that. Again, if you're working with clients, they will likely have highlighted the fonts that they use for their brand, and that's where you input those into here. So you can see that there are a number of examples that you can put in and change different fonts for, but for this example we're just using two. So we have a headline font which we're going to use in the title. So we click on there, click choose a font. And ours is going to be Laura, so you can type that in or you can just search with the search bar up here. We also have a subtitle font, which we'll click again in there, select choose font and then select that, and you can see that actually you can change the size. I personally don't change the size because I edit that within the designs, so you don't need to do that if you don't want to. But if there is a specific size and you work regularly with specific templates, for example A4 or A5 flyers, then you may want to set that in advance, but you don't need to because those fonts will still remain editable once you're within your design. Okay, so moving on to brand voice. As I've touched on before, if you're a freelancer or a small business or you're just getting started, you may not have a brand voice yet, and that's fine. You may just want to have a think. You could use ChatGPT to help you create one, or you can leave it blank. So for this example, we do have a small brand voice, which we're just going to copy and paste into there. And what this is going to do, it's going to help make sure that Canva is staying on track, especially if you use any of the magic tools, which is what this icon here is. Next, we're looking at photos. Now you don't need to upload photos, but if there's any stock images that you do have that you think you use regularly, now that could be a product photo, it could be a couple of images of the founder or an entrepreneur that you regularly use. That's always handy to put into the brand kit. Again, it's going to save time, and that can be done again with a simple drag and drop. I'm just going to put in a few photos that we've created for this example. So these images were actually created within Ideogram for this example. So they're all AI generated. What I'll do is I'll put a link for Ideogram in the description box below as well, if that's of interest. Okay, so they're all uploaded, which means we can move on to our final two tabs. We've got graphics. If there's any specific graphics that you have that you want to add in there, you can put those in there. Again, drag and drop, or click on the Add Brand Assets tab. And then you've got icons. So for this example, we do have a little icon, which is just our little coffee mug on a transparent background. So I'll add that in there. Once you've uploaded that, that's it. That's your brand kit sorted, and it is going to be a massive time save. So let's take a look at how that looks when we start working on a design. So we're going to click over onto Home, and we're going to search templates. We want an Instagram post. So we're going to hit return. It's going to come up with a lot of different templates to use. So for this example, we are going to use this one just here. When you click on it, it's going to tell you that there are 6 pages to it. You can choose if that's the right one for you or choose similar ones. But for this example, we're going to say yes, customize this template. Okay, so now that we've got our templates within Canva, first of all, we're going to click on brand over on the left hand side. As you can see, it's currently set to naturally social, so we're going to just click the drop down and we're going to select the daily grind coffee. That's bringing everything there. It's also telling us that our brand kit is up and running, which is great to see. So all of our logos are here, our color palette, the fonts, our brand voice, the photos and our icon are all ready to go. So the first thing that we're going to be looking at once we click back into our template is we're going to be changing the font, because this is not the font that we have for this business. So first it's going to tell you all the fonts that are available within this template. So there's a few different ones. We've got the main body of text here, that's one set of font. We've got the top titles here, another font. It's also going to give you recommendations, anything that we've recently used, or within our brand kit, the recommended font which we're going to be using. And we're going to change everything that was previously pop-ins over to the brand kit. So that's how you can just quickly change anything that isn't within your font to the recommended font for the brand. Okay, next up we're going to be looking to put our pictures into the background. So as you can see, our photos are here. If we click select all, we can then see a big collection of those, and like I said, this is just an example, so we've only uploaded a handful, but for this example we're going to use this lady here. We're going to replace the background. So as you can see, we've just added her in, and that's just a quick way of adding in a photo without having to go through uploading a new stock image, especially if these are photos that you use regularly. Last but not least, we're going to pop our logo on here just for this example. I'm going to click and we're going to resize. We'll pop that one up there. So I hope you found this example of how to build a brand kit really helpful. We use it regularly. We know how much time it can save, especially when we're working on multiple different clients or we're creating so many images within Canva. Make sure you subscribe, and we look forward to seeing you in the next Canva video.